For my first pick and the second overall pick of the week number 2, Sunday 6-pack, I am going with the Jacksonville Jaguars plus 4.5 at FanDuel against the Indianapolis Colts. At home against the Indianapolis Colts. You know what that means? I mean, it's kind of like an auto bet at this point. Jacksonville, last 6 years, 6-0 at home against the Colts since 2015. Winning by an average of 16.8 points per game, 6-0 against the spread against the Colts since 2015, covering by an average of 20.1 points per game. The Colts just struggled down here, man. Dome team.
Isn't it 7-0? Isn't it 7-0?
I got 6.
I mean, 2015, they play every year. And the Colts.
Let's see.
I know the Colts are 1-12-1 against the spread against the Jaguars since 2015. And I believe the Jags are 7-0 at home over that span.
Was one of those in London? That might be.
Yeah, that could be. That's
yeah. I got 6. I got 6. So I'm seeing 6. And then let's see.
Well, let's make your case even stronger. There's 7-0 when the game's
neutral.
Not played in Indianapolis.
There's one. Yeah, one at a
that's
neutral
more.
site.
That's more of a home for Jacksonville anyway.
Yep. But this is Jaguars. This is Jaguars week. You know, when Indianapolis goes down there to the Heat, it just doesn't fail. They just don't play well. We saw what happened at the end of last year. Now, and it's not even like this is like, okay, like Carson Wentz got his revenge, in Washington. So it's not like it's a revenge spot for the quarterback. But, looking at this Colts team, I mean, need you see more than what happened last week against the Texans? I mean, this is a very kind of mediocre Colts team yet again. And every year they kind of try to take that next step. But I still think they're short at receiver outside of Pittman. He's great, obviously. But I just think this is overall a very mediocre Colts team going on the road to a place where they always struggle. Matt Ryan's still in his second game with these new receivers. Jonathan Taylor, he's going to do what he does. We know that. But I like the Jaguars. I still think the Jaguars are going to be improving as the year goes on offense. I liked what Peterson did. He kind of opened it up a little bit. They went a little pass heavy. Christian Kirk in the slot. Zay Jones played well, though he had a key drop or two. But I think this Jaguars offense is going to be much improved. So I don't think it's the same like terrible, Jaguars team that like from last year. I still think the defense has some issues, but at home, playing in their home opener against the team that they own, I think it's going to actually be a pretty fun Jags game. They don't have a big home field advantage, but I think in this spot, I think it'll be. I got it a little higher than usual, so just love this spot for Jacksonville. And this is just one of those, we talk about, coming in these trends for, teams coming off a loss in week 2, 62, 34 and 2, 65% since 05, and week 2 dogs off against the spread loss. I think you mentioned it, 56, 32 and 2, 64% since 05 as well. So, I mean, this is just the spot that you want. Jacksonville, this Colts team, I mean, down 17 points to the Texans. You could say it's a bounce back spot, but the fact that the Colts went down 17 to the Texans, the Houston Texans, the worst, what everyone considers the worst team in the National Football League, it just doesn't, it doesn't bode well for this team going forward. And I'm usually not impressed with the Colts. I thought they would be a little better this year, but I just don't see it. I think it's going to take some time. I still feel like that offense is just running through 2 people. And Matt Ryan threw a Carson Wentz interception last week. Threw that little like to the D lineman or something. So same old Colts for me. Give me the Jags plus 4.5.
Yeah, I like this as well. It's decent. You could argue it's a decent spot for the Colts revenge for, the Jags kicking them out of the playoffs last year. They're coming off an embarrassing game. The first place Colts, by the way, who don't have a win in that sad division. Shaq Leonard should be back, which he practiced in full today. We'll see if he's at full strength. That should help a little bit. I assume DeForest Buckner was just taking a vet day today. Kenny Moore was also on the injury list. But on the other side of the ball, and I agree, the Jacksonville offense is going to be better. I think this is a good matchup for Jacksonville's defense. the Colts receivers, by the way, it's a bad situation. The tackle play last week was horrendous against the Texans. And, Alec Pierce, who they're counting on this year, is in concussion protocol now. Pittman's dealing with a quad. I assume will be good to go, but you never like to hear receivers dealing with a quad and was limited in practice. But you're just not scared of the Colts receivers. And that's important if you're Jacksonville, if you're betting on Jacksonville, because their secondary is their weakest area by far. And their new defensive coordinator, Mike Caldwell, Todd Bowles guy, from scheme perspective, you can expect a massive improvement against the run just from schematics alone. Last week, Washington, 28 carries, 85 yards, already saw the improvements there. That's a key against the Colts, who want to feed one of the best running backs in the NFL. So from a matchup perspective, I do like it. And if Buckner and/or Leonard, I'm assuming they're going to be at full strength, are not, and/or Moore is important in the slot, I love it even more. But I agree. I think this line is a bit high. We'll find places to back the Colts. Usually like week 4 is when I always bet the Colts every year.
Hopefully they lose this game and then, kind of go from there. If they tie the Texans and then lose to the Jags, there's definitely going to be some buy lows opportunities.
Yeah. Well, let's refer to another tie. And we cover, and everyone goes home happy, and we can laugh at this division. Just root for as many ties. That's all I'm going to do with the AFC South, kids. Root for as many ties as possible.